Now let's see. There we go. Okay, now we got that set up. Why does Twitch have to make everything so complicated? That is really dumb. Anyway, okay, now we're set up. So, hello to my one person out there, and hopefully there'll be more joining. Uh, First time streaming, and gonna try to do some video games on here. Going to do some cosplay work on here. Do some unboxing type stuff with collections. As you can see, my collection room is a complete and utter disaster. So eventually, I'm hoping to get cabinets put into here and then slowly put everything up together. But for now, everything is. This is not even actually all the collections, and this is not exactly all the stuff that is even remotely going to be put up somewhere. But we're going to work on something here. Anyway, um, so I'm just going to do some stuff here. Big avid player of Warcraft. I've been on here for 14, 15 years now, and I've done a lot of work on there, did a lot of progression and stuff like that. So, but I'm not a hardcore raider. I used to do hardcore raiding, but I haven't done it as much as I used to anymore. Have problems with the flashing lights and such, and usually my schedule doesn't match up anyone else's schedule, so it ends up being a problem for doing that. So unfortunately, I'm one of them puggers, so yeah, I'm gonna have to deal with it. But because I love Warcraft so much, and technically I'm really dreading this next expansion, but since I am a big fan of it, I know a lot about the history and stories and lore and what happened in certain areas. Now, when I first started playing this, I never played any of the Warcraft games before. Not one. I had no idea what was going on, why I was doing anything. I was just playing it. I was coming fresh off of Final Fantasy 11. Boy, am I going to date myself here. So I came off of Final Fantasy 11 because the link shell that I was in kind of progressed beyond me when my computer was dead. So I had to go and basically, in those days, you either had to have a group to level or you were kind of trying to pug, but you gotta try to shout for a party and see if somebody will pick you up to go and level. Um, so I ended up trying out Warcraft, and there it was a lot easier. I could just play the game, I could level from that, learn some story, go ahead and do other quests and missions and such. And they had their dungeons and raids, but yeah, you had to shove for a group for all of that kind of stuff. And um, it was a lot simpler to run than Final Fantasy was back in the day. Final Fantasy still 11 still exists, which I was surprised, but I'm not on it. I don't have a max level character, so I just don't really bother with that. So mainly my feed when I'm going to be doing Warcraft, I'm going to be explaining what is going on if you're like a totally new to it like I was and didn't know what was going on. I can basically tell you exactly how things are and why they are and what's behind all of this. So, yep, we still got one person. Nice. So, we're going to I guess I might as well start off and go on online onto the game. So let me just boot that up. Give it a moment because, of course, it's slow. So this is my main account, and I'm gonna turn it down also here on here. It's loud on my end, but who knows on your end. Doesn't seem as loud as the rest of my talking. Let me know. Okay, so it's not drowning you out. It's drowning out my own ears. So let's try doing this. Yeah, that's confusing. I'll read off the story quests if nothing else. But yes, I play both sides. These are my mains. When I first started her, there was only um, vanilla Warcraft at that time. And yeah, there we go. Okay, now I turned it down for myself. When I started her, there was only vanilla Warcraft. So it wasn't in 2004 that I started. It was about 2005, 2006. Now him, I started it as soon as Burning Crusade came out. And he has been with me Horde side all this time. But then I've got other characters I'm trying out. I'm finding Warlock completely freaking broken. Because I could survive so many things that I didn't expect to. My Dark Priest here, where she, I'm still waiting for my royalty check, Blizz. This is where the whole Night Warrior practically got started. I came up with this character, and most priests have problems trying to level. I don't think that's the case anymore, but they used to have this problem where they were just they're healers. That's it. They don't really do damage. They may stack a damage. They might do a little bit of damage, but they really don't do damage. So I came up with this idea where she is the left hand of Elune. Elune is a night elf priest god, and basically, um, yeah, the left hand of Elune is the secret agents of the night elf class. They're the ones who do the dirty work. They're not exactly like rogues. Rogues are more personal gain, whereas a left hand would more likely be working in the service of the gods, in service of Tyrande, in service of Darnassus as a whole. So basically, she's she is one of those warriors that are in work in secret. And then when they came out with the Night Warrior, I was like, this sounds exactly like what I was going to do because Elune has two sides. Like I figured they have her as any other moon god, where she has two faces. So you have the full moon, which is the bright side, which is going to be the healing, the warmth, the mother. And then you have the dark side, which is wrath, and destruction, and retribution, which was essentially what happened in the Night Warrior cinematic. The moon turned black, granted this power to Tyrande, and she is now practically even more goddess than night elf than before, sort of following Illidan's path. So I thought, oh great, now my story is canon at this point. So yeah, she ran low level all the way over to the barbershop. There was only one barbershop in Kultiris that gave you those eyes when you unlocked the story about the Night Warrior, so that you could have your night elves become night warriors. And I took this little low character over, ran her over to Kultiris just to get the eyes changed because they made my story canon. Girl, stop that. So yeah, I'm still waiting for my royalty check there. I know I'll never see it, but I thought it was kind of cool that they actually made one of my characters, one of my headcanons, actually be part of the story. So that was fun. So yeah, I got a couple of paladins, but um you can't deny how pretty these are. Oh, they're so shiny. And my void elf, because I love my elves. Of course I do. More elves. I really haven't touched her too much. I was having fun with this one. If you can get the joke, she's Moon Moon. Now she's a new character I just made, and if anyone knows my love of Agretzko, that's where she's named from, and that's where her coloring is from. And I just unlocked High Mountain Tauren, and I was dying to really name him something Canadian, and most of the Canadian things had been taken by then. So um, I decided to go a little bit from my own hometown, which is, it sits on the Canadian border, so we have this little run over of Canadian stuff, and amazingly, nobody remembered this. And he's named after a an actual First Nations tribe, but he's also named for a throughway in Buffalo, New York, that most people look at it and cross their eyes when they see it. That's pronounced Sajakwada. And I'm just like, this is gonna make everybody just kind of cross their eyes and go, what the heck is that? So, yeah, so this is my main roster of characters that I have. So, maybe we'll pop on him because he's brand new, fresh out of the oven. I have not done anything with him yet. Um, but I might do him later. Right now, what I'm planning to do is go on to my main character, Astana. Yes, she is named after Raceland. I mean, I can't get golden skin, but I did give her tawny eyes to get golden eyes and such. But I've also aged her up since they got new face constructions going on now for your characters. I kind of aged her up a bit because it's 15 years later. She's not gonna look like the young girl that she was. So, but that was about the most middle-aged face I could find in there. Otherwise, there's more of a older lady than anything else. So since today is Halloween, I'm going to do some of the Halloween stuff in here. Um, Currently, there is a Halloween event going on, Hallows End. I've already got the special mount that everybody has been like trying to get. Amazingly, I got that twice, and there's an interesting story behind that. So, once upon a time, when I got, yeah, you know this story. Once upon a time, many years ago, I can't even remember how many years ago it was, I ran the Headless Horseman raid. And I had been trying so hard to get the one mount. And oh, it was Lich King? Okay. So shoot, what year is that? 8 or 9. 2008 or 2009. Ran that, and I've been trying so hard to get the mount for that one because it's a really freaking cool mount. And I kept running it that one year, and I was running it with my spouse, who's also online, and I could not get I could not get this thing. And then finally, one day, we were going to try a couple of times again. She told me that basically, if I can get the drop on that, she's going to give me this load of gold for it to trade it to her. I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's see if it ever drops. That very day, she said that she was going to pay me for this mount. It dropped. I got it. I was out of my mind about this. It was hilarious. I was just freaking laughing and going crazy. And she's like right next to me, next to the computer next to me, and she's like, "Please give me this mount. I'll give you every single piece of gold I own." And me being a sap, I did it. So yeah, she paid me, and I got a bunch of like, rare pets and all that. But I was like, shoot, I really want that mount. So I kept running it, and I don't even have it in my bar at this point. So one of my other characters uses it. Um, so I kept running to try to catch it again, and I was having the hardest time. It would not drop, or if it did drop, it always went to somebody else. And I'm like, maybe my character is flagged for saying that it did have that, and I can't get another drop of that. Maybe it's just one of those things. And yeah, here it is. So so one day I decided I was going to go and run some achievements, something that I thought would be easy enough to do. And I was going for an Onyxia achievement. It was one of the ones about the whelps. Don't quote me. I don't know which one this was. Um so I ran that, and I didn't get that particular achievement, but another achievement popped up, and it turns out that I got the Onyxia mount. And there she is. I was like, holy cow. How did that happen? The same night, I queued up for a Headless Horseman run, and the horse drops, and I get it. So I had one night where I had two rare mounts drop at the same time, and I was just ecstatic about it. But now we start to brag because I've had this thing for so long. Yes, it's a flying mount, of course. The fire coming off the hooves and everything. It's pretty cool, but she doesn't usually run it that much. I usually run around here. Oh my gosh, I don't remember this. What did they put witch hats on? Oh my god, even the birdie has a witch hat. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my god. And somebody actually stunk up one of the hats. That's beautiful. Oh, dude, is it too soon or did they do one on Varian? Hang on. It might be too soon. It might be too soon for his death. They wouldn't do that to him. Nah, they wouldn't do that to him. Darn it. It's not too late to put a hat on Varian. Ugh, that's hilarious. Yes, we found out some of these people that are on these statues are still alive, but still, that would be hilarious. But it's Halloween time, so we're gonna do some Halloweeny stuff. I'm actually, I'm actually gonna be writing a story about this character. No, she's not gonna be called Restana in the book. That's ridiculous, and I'd be hit for plagiarism. So, I mean, this character has so much history behind her. I am definitely preparing a story. I've been preparing a story for years. Let's be honest. I've been working on this for quite a while. So, I'm working on the story. Yeah, and nobody's doing squat out here. This is gonna be good. Nobody's here. Really? And Wormrest? Nobody's here. That's amazing. Anyway, so this is basically for those who are like Warcraft curious and want to do this stuff. Okay, so who is the Headless Horseman? The Headless Horseman, once a knight of the Silver Hand and a hero among his fellow paladins, is cursed. Driven insane within the Scarlet Monastery, he believes that he is alive and we are dead. Now his further no longer serves the light. With the coming of Hallow's End, he spreads gloom and fire across the villages of Azeroth. His story is like majorly, majorly tragic. He was one of those who was trying to stop the Scourge invasions along with Arthas once he was starting to turn. And turns out that his own family had turned. His wife and his child had turned. And he had to kill them too. He just started going slowly insane after that. And vowed to wipe out as much Scourge as much as possible. He was also corrupted by those who were corrupting the his order. He just went slowly insane until they finally had to take him down. And now he comes back thinking that we are the dead. He still thinks that we are the Scourge. So that's why we have to keep taking him down at this particular time.
Safe travels.
So first we have to try and put out the fires, which is not really going to do us much good if there's not many of us here. And my phone's being weird. Hang on. Okay. This is going to be entertaining. Let me see what's doing. There it goes. Yes, you can get things for free, folks, but expect your feed to be interrupted by ads. So we're going to completely mess around with your schedule here by popping up ads and cutting off your feed for it. I'll figure out something else on that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I don't blame the kids for wanting to go back to the orphanage. Oh, hey, there's people here. The heck? Shire is usually a lot more jumping place than this.
What can I do for you?
Nothing. Why don't you do something? Town guards can't do anything. What a surprise! Oh my god, the kids are crying. Shoot. I hate that. Stormwind guards are useless, just letting you know. If I spec into Frost Mage, do you think that'll help? Oh yes, it's a lot of back and forth. Like almost every other kind of quest in Warcraft. Stormwind guards. Sit there, let everybody else do your job. Oh, yeah, that's just typical. Wrong game. I forget how long this lasts. Till the Headless Horseman comes back and he's just like, yeah, you either messed up or you did well. Looks like we're doing alright. I see some of it going out.
King's honor, friend.
Yeah, yeah. There he is! Whee! Candy, 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 candy. Gimme. Large jack-o'-lantern rests in the middle of the village, its eyes those who look upon it betraying a dark menace within. Smashing the pumpkin reveals an old scorched holy symbol. Ah, boy. Matron, tell me more!
How are you?
There's a thingy here. You found this inside the Headless Horseman's jack-o'-lantern? It's an old symbol of the light. It must have been the horseman's before he was cursed and turned into the monster he is in today. Thank you. This symbol deserves to be with paladins. I'll make sure they get it. Oh, and I almost forgot. You have a secret admirer. So one of the kids comes up.
Have a good one.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm a hoarder. I know. It's in here somewhere. Shiny thing. There it is. Oh, cool. I got one of the temporary rooms. Whee! Because I do have the flight ability, it can lift. See, I love the letters you get from the kids. It says, "Hi, I'm not good at letters, so the matron helped me write this down for you. I just want to say thanks because you're a hero and maybe someday I can save people like you do. Okay, I have to go play, so thanks again for being good and strong, and you're pretty too." Aww. I love these kids. They're so awesome. Whee! I don't know if we're actually gonna get these figures out. It's like people do this to a certain point and then they're done. Did that just like relit? This is not a job for one person, I'll tell you. Alright, who's the fire mage playing games here? Because that was out. Of course, nobody considers it worthy to take out Goldshire. But magic buckets are throwing more things than I am. Why is somebody doing this and stuff? Who really knows what rogues are doing? Honestly. No, I don't trust rogues to do anything right. Hey, where'd that cart go? I, s- I swear, I am the only buffoon out here doing this. That is sad. Oh, okay. There's one other fool out here doing it with me. Okay. Look, if a rogue killed an actual soldier around here, he doesn't even have to stealth. They're pretty useless at this point. Oh my god, this is taking forever. This is not going to be done by one person alone. Let's put it this way. Let's check something real quick. Give me one moment. Yeah, I am like the only person out here, so I don't know if that's even going to happen at this point. It's usually better when there's like a group out here and it looks like everybody else is somewhere else at this point. Ah, but I can show you what the Headless Horseman raid actually looks like. So, let's queue up. Wonder how long this is gonna last. 12 minutes! Okay, it's gonna be a while. Especially when you're DPS. If you're DPS, forget it. Okay, so while we wait for that, I'm going to show you my favorite haunted spot in this whole in the world of Warcraft. Say that you're Dixie Drake. Ain't she pretty? No purple and stuff. I'm going to do us a quick run through Karazhan. Karazhan is one of those places that I constantly run because it's one of those places I can do a quick money run. Even with the stat squish that happened, she can still run this, so that's good. When it turns out, at least that once I've tried it, the chromie time when you have a brand new character, what it does is that it squishes everything to your level and stays there until you get to about max level, which is now 50 at this point. And then she boots you out, and then you're into regular time where everything is at the level that it would be at if you were playing in real time. So, luckily, I can still run Karazhan, and I can still run that. I get maybe about 500 gold for the raid itself, and then they added a dungeon in Legion, which is what 2 X packs ago, and that one's funky. But this is like my favorite spot. This is a nice haunted tower. Karazhan was built by the great mage Medivh. He built this place on a conjunction of magical ley lines. You can't really see it here. I was really sitting there wondering, oh, you really think so, huh? Okay. Come here. Come here, I dare you. Okay. Yeah. So, and you had nothing. Thank you. So, there's a lot of strange things going on in here. One of them being that Medivh has a very long history where he was a guardian mage. He was corrupted. Not not his fault, but he was corrupted. And now we have this problem, which was a continuous problem in Azeroth of the Burning Legion coming in and trying to smash the world soul that is here. That's another long story. But right now, we have a problem when we go through the raid is that there's something weird going on. And in the story, we're supposed to go and find out what kind of weird stuff is going on. And it is weird, even more so than your average mage weird. Yeah, there's so that oh, I love this place. A lot of people didn't care to rate this when it came up. It's very long, and to get a raid group that's going to stick together to do this has got to be one of those feats of strength, I swear to God. So, we are told by the Kirin Tor, which are the mages of Azeroth, to go and check out what the heck is going on in this place. Now, this place also drops a mountain. I seriously doubt I'm going to get it in this just to show off and prove how kind of a good guy Blizz is. So, this is like the first part of it. Help with what situation? The spiders, the endless screeching bats, and all those blasted demon beasts have all taken residence in the servants' quarters. It's not safe to walk around anymore, especially when the big one comes out of hiding. Big one? Oh, yeah. I've never seen them personally, but sometimes I hear them in the distance. Keep a watchful eye out for them if you venture inside. Thanks! Thanks, ghost dude. Yeah, there's a lot of ghosts in here. So, I'm sorry for those faint of heart about spiders and weird. You know, so typical. Typical. Whoops. And then I did that. I am not paying any attention. Okay. Sorry for showing off spiders and that. I can't help for the kind of creepy qualities that ends up showing up in here. This is what I mean. I can actually kind of wipe my way through this pretty fast. See, what you have to do is you have to clear out all these monsters in here, else the big thing doesn't show up. And one of them is glitched. And I think it's the last one that I need to complete the achievement for doing this part. I don't know. But woohoo! Let's go, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Side pieces. Okay. All right.
It is over. Your search is done. Let fate choose now. The righteous one.
Holy cow, we're taking him down fast. Where's his head? Where did his head go? Oh, there it is.
Fit and pure. Now your rotting souls are pure.
Whee!
Tis you I serve. Now feel.
That's the end of the fight. Where we're at, we're in the Scarlet Monastery. This is an actual. It's actually its own dungeon. Used to be. It used to be 4 zones to complete, and now it's only 2. This is a special instance area that's only open for this particular event. That's why it has a special queue for it. Yeah, that was part of his insanity to start rhyming. Yay! He's down!
What new adventure lies in
What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Band of the Petrified Pumpkin. Eh. Well, it's actually better than one of my things, but I lose so much crit. That's not good. I'll have to think about that. Alright. Oh, it's a tanking ring. Fudge. That does me. Yeah. Just let me loose with a load of spells. And oh my gosh, did they kick me out? Jerk. That's all right. We just try again. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. Hello there. This is not a name I'm familiar with. But I'm glad you can join us. I'm going to go and do a solo raid into the most haunted place of Azeroth. Let's try this again. Ah! Привет, Anton. So, we're going through the servants' quarters, and as I mentioned before, basically, we got a bunch of monsters, which, these monsters aren't anything spectacular compared to anything else that's around in Azeroth. I like to gather them up and just kill them. So, but the only way to get the actual monster to pop up, which you'll see here on the map, that there's a random thing that's supposed to pop up when you clear it out. And also, this is glitched. So I don't even know if this is going to pop up at this point. We'll see. I'll try to do this quickly because this is really a boring spot. It's a fascinating little area with yeah, they're the dire wolves. Um, it's a fascinating little area that has a lot of lore that just does not translate well unless you know a lot of the backstory. Come here, puppies. Let's go. Come here, puppy. Ah, puppy. Come here. And let me show you just how OP I actually am. Hi, kiss the lurkers, skirts for the shadows. See? Okay, so let's see if we can actually find it. Hello? Hello? Where are you? You should be right here. Are you glitched? Do you not work like usual? Blizz will never repair this. I mean, for goodness sakes, they've made this relevant again for, if you want to do this again, and it's not popular. I understand that, but it's relevant again, and yet they don't fix anything. So, okay, so it's not. Nope, nope. It's not popping up. Okay, never mind. That's probably the one that is glitched and whatever. So, not important. It's a side quest, basically. It's nothing of great importance. It's just an extra thing to run, and I think there's an achievement for exterminating all of them, but as you can see, I got nothing. So this area ghost horse. Um, there's actually some of the ghosts you can actually talk to. The guy you could talk to over here. Ah, guests of the master. I hope you've been watching your step in here. I don't know why I'm automatically off the bat asking who is Midnight, but we're asking who Midnight is. Midnight is Achaman's the Huntsman's personal mount. I've never seen a faster, stronger, or more mean-spirited horse. And then he wanders off while you're talking to him. Of course he does. If there's ever a moving NPC, non-player character, they're gonna wander off on you or something while you do it. So all he's telling you is about the optional end boss that's over in this area. It's supposed to drop him out. Supposed to. I've been running this since I became overpowered for this area for a long time. I have not seen those rains drop. They just don't. The percentage rate I think is like 0.01% chance of you getting this mount. And there he is. This is the fabled Midnight, the nasty, nasty warhorse. So we are going to quickly just kind of take it down. I'm a rabble now.
Someday I will become the hunted.
One of these days you're going to drop me that horse. Which that's not it. Okay. Try again. Now we're going to be going through the servants' quarters. I always have to pick up one more. So, it's nice that they have this. In Burning Crusade, the first patch that they put in, they put in random places where you can quickly empty out your pockets really, really fast. Get a quick repair, because otherwise, all these raiding groups, basically, if we kept wiping and wiping and would just die and die and die over and over again, unlike Final Fantasy, which you could lose levels, which was heartbreak enough when you were trying to get a random party just to kill random creatures in order to level. Heartbreaking. Every time you heard that sound, you just died a little inside every single time. Instead, in this particular game, you lose durability. Yeah, I'm a pack rat, I know. You lose durability to your items. Let's see here. Um, where is that? There it is. The durability is 139 out of 140. So you have these little areas where you could quickly get a quick patch job, and then your stats are better and ready to go. Um, yeah, normally when I'm doing my own run of this, especially if it's a money run, I'm killing every single thing that is here. I won't do it this time because that will take forever. It does take a long time to clear this place. Um, so since um, Medivh was the guardian and he was a very powerful mage, there was actually a separate city state amongst the humans that was just a mageocracy. It was just all mages, and that was Dalaran. So, of course, the most powerful mage at the time, I, the most powerful mage at that time would have a very fancy place to live in. So that's why he has this tower built up and where all the ley lines converge and, up his powers and such. So he had his own guards, and this is where we're going through. Yes, it's haunted, haunted like crazy. But there's a lot of interesting stuff when you wander through here. Now, like, let me see if this is the blood wrench door. When you go over here, and it looks like it's some kind of rest area, barracks of some sort. But it's empty. There's nothing to do here. The tables are empty. And I'm sitting here thinking, is this a place to role play in? That's crazy. 'Cause to get in there alone and it just seems kind of crazy for me to think that they actually have that. I it's a safe space for when you had the big groups and you needed to time out and heal up and get your mana back up, and that was a safe spot for all the characters to converge into. Because I can't think of that as being barracks, because I mean they have all their tables set up. Who left these candles burning? Who's doing that? So I tend to think that those kind of places are just safe spots for those doing their runs through here so that they can take a break. As long as you can get some kind of tank or pooler who's actually going to let you take a break. There's also that problem. So he has his own kitchen, also very haunted. Let me make sure I'm going the right way. Oh yeah, I love this. You think you're going someplace else. You're actually, if you jump down here, you end up into that entryway again. So it's a shortcut, but it's a painful shortcut. I mean, you can see how far a drop that is. And it's kind of a painful way to get back to a certain area, but it's almost pointless because it all does connect together. See, that was the barracks. Ah, here we go. So we're leaving the kitchen, and now we're in the banquet hall. Also haunted! Haunted like you wouldn't believe. What's real fun here. Okay, there's some mages here, there's some rogues. Because some people will throw flames at you, and other people will throw knives. We don't have to do anything with them to get this next part. This is the next boss. This guy over here, Morose. Now, as you're watching these lords and ladies over here, they're asking for an appearance to Medivh, and he's saying no, he's busy, he's not in the tower, he's doing something else. So he's basically just a butler, the butler of the tower, and he's basically telling everybody that Medivh is not going to talk to you. Well, of course he's not going to talk to you now, he's dead. But
Unannounced visitors, preparations must be made.
I don't really think they say much when I was doing this. There was like one time I was letting them just talk for a while. I did it on a lower character. And that's where you find out Morose is actually a rogue. Because there's the stud. He's got the two daggers. disappears. He'll be back. But he also has this nasty ability to take off all of your clothes. So you have to fight and absolutely nothing. I'm just like, you are such a perverted person. Oh, that's cute. The skeletal warrior. Oh, I'm just disarmed this time? Wait, what did he die from? I didn't do anything! Oh my... No, I did... No, I was just standing here. I was about to just take him out, and he just seemed to die of fright. Maybe it's the staff. Maybe my staff killed him. He disarmed me, and then he died. I don't... Okay, enough. Okay, so... Okay, I have no idea what happened there. He just... He had a coronary and died. I don't know. I don't know. He gave up. He gave up somewhere along the line. That's all I can figure. Okay. So there's that fight. As much of you can say is a fight. Yeah, that's... Okay, okay. Oh, Lord, they keep asking for it. Something... Oh, there's a fire mage. Oh, shoot. Of course, I never aim for the one that's actually attacking me. No. Stop it. Stop that. Okay. Okay. The Grand Ballroom. This leads to two different areas. So this is where we first came in. It's down over here. And there's the big stairway. And it leads up to the Grand Ballroom. I am going to aggro everything in here just because of being here. It's just a thing. Dream of the Rages. Stop. Stop it. Okay. He's gonna come. He's gonna come. Ah! Bye! Why? Why did you target so far? Stop! Oh my gosh, stop. Okay. Now that everything's dead. Again. See, that's the one thing that everybody got really mad about, I think, is because of all of these random little encounters that you can end up being in. Why do ghosts have Maghar bread? They have the orc bread because Blizz says so. Blizz said that we're going to be lazy and whatever food that drops that is related to Burning Crusade is going to be for everywhere. So it does not even matter if you're in something that's in Azeroth or you're going to Outland, it's all going to be the same. It's called being lazy. So I think that the whole thing why there's another thing why people don't really run this is just because there's no way to sidestep this kind of stuff, and you just end up wasting a lot of time sidestepping all of this stuff. And you can't. You gotta fight it. So this is the guest chambers. This is mage humor at its finest. Because in every single guest room, yep, ladies of the night. These are living ladies of the night, at least that we know of at this point. Now they're not, but to all intents and purposes, they look like they're living. Why are they still in here? This is freaky. Here is the last resting place of I have no idea what kind of people these were. That was a murder-suicide. There are the roses. There's here. Okay, here's the knife. Stabbed. And over here, this person has a flask. This was a murder-suicide. Perfect timing on the ambient noise. And I cannot for the life of me find some kind of story behind this. There is nothing known about who these were. I mean, it's roughly human, but a bit bigger than a human. It's not orc, it's not troll. I'm gonna say they're human. Um, I know they have like 3 toes and yeesh. I really I really don't know what happened there, what's going on. That's one of many bizarre things that happened in this tower. So, Mage sense of humor. So while he has provided these rooms for guests and plenty of ladies of the night, he has also installed this. Not the guards. Bye. Not referred to the guards. He has kept this item right here. The Maiden of Virtue. So you have something here to give them a nice little guilt trip.
Your behavior will not be tolerated.
So don't steal. Don't borrow his ladies. Because we have this to take you out. And she's serious. When I first ran this, when I was strong enough to do this, sorta, kind of,
Impurity must be cleansed.
they say that all the time. So, when I first started doing this, this was brutal on mages, especially if you were an arcane like I am. I mean, you can see my heart bars just blacken out during certain spells she casts. That's how brutal this area used to be. You probably had to go in as a frost or a fire mage if you were doing mage and DPS. Because arcane, so many places originally,
Cast out your corrupt thoughts.
no. Every time they had some kind of dungeon instance raid, it was practically impossible for an arcane mage to do anything because they would get locked. that's where all your bars right here just turn off and you can't cast anything. You're useless. Which was really annoying because I liked doing arcane mage.
Death comes. Will your conscience be clear?
Lady, with the things I've seen, I don't know. I don't know. Um Also, this statue is a Titan construct. Um Somewhere along the lines he got hold of one, kept it in his treasure. I don't know where he got it from. That's not made clear. Um because you pretty much figured out there's an area that's called the menagerie, and that's where you find out that he was a collector of rare items like that. And since this is only the first expansion pack, Titans are still brand new idea. They were introduced in the original story, but they were more of a revelation to the dwarves of where they came from. Um, there's a whole scene where we actually go in this excavation. We find these golden discs. Yes, like the platinum discs of Mystical. Yeah, there's lots of Dragonlance references. Um, where they talk about the Titans. And no. This is one of the crazy areas. This he puts on performances here. He has actors come in to entertain everybody. There's see, you can see some of the leftover guests who left this place a frickin' mess. Where are the ushers? This is worse than most of the theaters around here. Um, so he had places to go and entertain. So he had the big banquet hall. He had the theater. That piano playing drives me absolutely not bonkers. I can't wait to get out of here. Yeah, he was very much an aristocrat. He had enough things to go and occupy people when he didn't want to be bothered. Because if you're a big man on campus, you know you still got to entertain people. But this is like the best way to keep people occupied while you're trying to avoid people. This is required. Finally, everything's in place. Are you ready for your big stage debut? I'm not an actor. Don't worry, you'll be fine. You look like a natural. Okay, I'll give it a try then. This is also random. There's 3 or 4 different plays. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this evening's presentation. Tonight, things are not what they seem. For tonight, your eyes may not be trusted. Take, for instance,
Ah!
an elderly woman waiting for a visit from her granddaughter. Surely there is nothing to fear from this sweet, gray-haired old lady. But don't let me pull the wool over your eyes. See for yourself what lies beneath those covers. And now, on with the show!
So we are reenacting Little Red Riding Hood. Anytime now. There we go. Gotta love this. grandmother, what big ears you have! The better to hear you with, my child. Oh, grandmother, what big eyes you have! The better to see you with, my child. Oh, grandmother, what fat lips you have!
The better to own you with.
Ah, shoot. Ah! Magical football. Oh, of course. Hey, he turned me into magical football. I should be able to kick your butt. There we go. Now I can kick your butt. What the? Oh my gosh. There you go. Enjoy the audio. Enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Bye. Gone. I'm out of here. Okay. You take the wolf's head and use it as a helmet. That's terrible. Yeah, there's just escaping some of this. This is mostly why people just did not care to run this. You have to actually fight all of this. I mean, even with me being OP and not actually going after them, I still have to kill them. They're still aggroing. I don't know why. Oh, is the wonder? Is the one guy over here? I know in one of the chairs there's the bones of somebody sitting in the chair who does not fit. And I think it's a troll. I'm not sure. Because it doesn't look like anything human. It's just too big. So, as we continue on, this is where everything starts really going creepy and stuff. And this confused me the first time I was running through here. And, as you can see, I can pretty much run through this, not a problem. There was a special quest here. I've already finished it. That's why it's not going to pop up. There's a... There he is. There's a skeletal griffin flying up over there. And that tells you about where we are in the tower itself, how far we've gone so far. Is a circling there. There's a mission for him. But I've already completed it, and it's a one-time thing, and I will not see it again. So I'll have to run that on a different character who hasn't run this at all. So the aggro range is amazing. And I'm just wondering why there's all these tables and chairs just sitting around in random areas like this. I figure it's for the guards. I can't be sure. So dark, so creepy. I just like looking at this. I have a fascination with abandoned buildings, so how things get dilapidated and ruined and such. So one of the many reasons why I like running this. So here's where he mostly keeps his prized possessions. It's just that one that he keeps in the visiting quarters to tease people with, I think. This is where it came really hard if you're a arcane mage. Because all this stuff is arcane energy made into living creatures. Now it's slightly different now. I can actually get through that now, but there's some that I cannot cast anything to. It just pings off of them. It does nothing. I have to use the staff in order to get rid of them, really.
The menagerie is for guests
But yeah, I gotta. Yeah, this guy. Isn't that pretty how they die? It's so musical. That's not who I want. I want him. Curator.
only. This curator is equipped for guidance protection.
You see? I'm casting at it. Nothing. Nothing is happening. Let's get rid of all the sparkly. Built to the tree. I can't do anything to it. Does nothing. So,
Curator is no longer operational.
I have to actually physically beat it. Yeah, so there's still some places where it just it's really hard for arcane mages, and I think they did this on purpose. I don't know why. I mean, I'm taking arcane energy, the right force of magic, and throwing it at something. Whereas I can understand if it's like these things that are pretty much arcane power creatures on its own. I can understand that, but it seems like almost everything for the first two parts of the game, for the original and the expansion, if you're an arcane mage, you're kind of useless for casting. You have to either be a fire or you have to be a frost. And frost was more in demand for that kind of thing than anything else. And back in those times, you couldn't really choose your spec. Now, like nowadays, they've changed it so that you can. Luckily, those work up with magic. That you can. Nowadays, you can change at will whatever you want to be and cast at that time. At back when you had to, you were you specialized in something, took on another item that was specialized in something, and then eventually they changed that so that you were locked into a particular ability. So if you picked arcane, you were stuck at arcane, and it cost money to change into something else. Frost is well, back in the day, frost was really hard to level with. It didn't have as much firepower as, say, fire itself or even arcane. Arcane's one of those they just I don't think they develop it developed it properly. And sometimes it's still not as great to play as, but it beats Frost. I still do not play a Frost mage. I won't. I've tried. I tried recently. I still don't like it. So I'm just going to play what I want to play. So now we're leaving his library. Down there, that was all these books and stuff. So there's more books and stuff as we go up. But as they were investigating strange things going on in here, let me get to a point here. Now, what? Now, someone explain to me what that is. Besides the tower falling down. There's nothing there. When I first saw this, I was like, "Oh wow, where is it all going? Where is there's bricks and stuff just hanging in midair, and I'm not even sure that's air up there." I was like, "Well, yeah, there is some strange things going on. Look at all these books. Oh my gosh, all these books. I love all these books. You can't read them, but and this is the fun part. We are not alone in here. I mean, it's not even just the ghosts. There are people in here trying to steal stuff. So these guys are the ones that worship the old gods. And by old gods, I mean we're going back to the H.P. Lovecraft type old gods. Yes, there is Cthulhu, Yogg-Saron. We just beat up another one of those in the last patch. Um, and these guys are trying to bring those gods into the world because they just hate everything, I think. They want the destruction of the world, and they're praising the old gods, and they're trying to find some kind of secret arcane knowledge in here. These are just leftover remnants from the books, because yes, even the magic books here are living. It's just like Harry Potter. No way. So this is where we're going to go next. This is Medivh's dad. So even his father's spirit is caught in here. And unfortunately, off the top of my head, I don't remember how he died. I almost want to say it was at the hands of Medivh during one of those moments where the corruption kind of overtook him. I'm not quite sure.
Please, no more! My son! He's gone mad! Back to the cold dark with him!
Yeah,
Not
it's,
finished yet! No! I have a few more tricks up my sleeve! The nightmare is over.
yeah, he already knew something was wrong with his son. And then he ends up getting rapscallion. And then his poor ghost is left here, and then he's left with the memories of what happened. Alright. Getting up further. It looks like there's less and less tower over here. Hopefully I'm not going to go in circles. This is the only part where I get confused because there's so many different bridges in here that sometimes I get confused about which part I want to go to. Wow, just doing this part is going to take all my time. And I'm trying to make it short. Even more of the less and less tower. Looks like a paused Tetris game. Ah, shoot. And more void critters over here. Alright, alright. Enough. Enough! Stop it. Stop. So I think up was... Let me see something. This is the spot where I always get confused. Yeah. Okay. This is where the optional boss is. There's a dragon over here. There's also a quest chain for this dragon. Nether Sprite used to be one of the really hard ones to take down. Really? Okay. Nether Sprite used to be a really hard one to take down, even when I was soloing this for the first time and when I was high enough level to do it, where I could do it on my own. There was no way I was going to be able to get a group after a certain time. Mostly anybody who did this is either they're finishing up the story quest for this dragon, or they're also farming. Farming for rep. There used to be these beams that like powered him, and you'd have to block him with
Inventory is full.
says you. Yeah, I don't need that. Bye. Yeah! New appearance! Sweet. Anyway, I need those eggs. The eggs are for rep in another part of the game. Not needed right now. But, yeah, she has a whole quest chain. Like I said, I've pretty much finished those, so... Fortunately, they're not here now. They're one time only, and then you're done. Not repeatable. It's this... Holy cow! Not much left. We're starting to get to the last part now. Running, so much running. It's huge and just gorgeous. Amazing. There's a video of somebody was able to get the data for um, what this place was going to look like. That was pretty cool. But this is also pretty neat also. So here we have another station where we can get repairs and drop off anything we don't really want. Yes, I know my bags are full. I don't care right now. I'll worry about that later. Most likely they're gonna just kind of mail it to me, whatever I don't pick up. Now, normally this is not a solo game. This is a chessboard. This is a living chessboard. And here's Medivh. To pass beyond my hall, you must defeat me in a game of skill. Control your king when you are ready to begin. So the leader takes over one of these characters. Well, leader takes over King Lane. Everybody else takes over some other character. This used to be a complicated to do on your own, but I figured out a way to do it. So, unfortunately, you can't go to the end part of this tower until you do this. The door is locked.
Can I help you? Have a good one.
So, shields up, red alert. So you gotta play this. And it takes a little while. But in the meantime, the best part about this is that the kings on this board are named after people he had worked with, were friends with, fought against in his time. King Langren was the one in charge during this particular orc invasion. They've fought alongside him, along with his apprentice at the time, Kagger. Ah, so long. Bear with me, folks. Yes, I can hit them from here. And like everything else, it's all a matter of timing. Another sprite, I think, was one of those dragons that he was doing experiments with. I'm not quite sure. There's some history that I remember right off the top of my head, and right now I'm like drawing a blank on it. Unfortunately. Oh, you jerk! Yeah, he tends to do this too.
Interesting.
I know that Medivh did a lot of experimenting and did a lot of torturous experiments on different creatures and such. So it is very possible this is one of them.
Necessary sacrifice.
I can do a better run of this later, where I'll actually have some kind of notes around me, and I'd be better off telling people about that at that time. I'll have more of a better guided tour once I figure out what the heck I'm doing. Thinking.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's going down.
I should have known.
Yeah, you should have.
Let us
The long arm of my law is long.
a transparent stratagem.
Just ship Black Hand over, please. Let me get this done
Necessary
with.
sacrifice. Perhaps a change is in order.
No, no, stop that. Jerk.
A transparent stratagem. Let us see.
Finally! No, come here.
A transparent
Okay.
stratagem.
You know what?
Uh-huh.
Get going, dude.
No matter. Yes. Of
We will take the
course.
battle to you.
Certainly. Break their bones.
Oh, I hope I can survive this.
A transparent strategy.
I don't want to do this part again.
A minor concern.
Thank you,
A
mage!
minor concern.
Yes!
Nothing less than protection
Woo!
will do.
Yeah, yes, yes! Keep beating him! Beat him! Oh, it's the wolf he's going after. Okay. He's beating up the wolf. He was still smashing up Blackhand. So all your loots are in here. I have no room at the inn. We're
Yes,
just...
of course.
Yes, of course I won. Look at it! Look. Woo! Friend of mine. Yeah. Yeah. You suck. Anyway. Alright, this is the last part of this raid. Gross!
I can't
Dude,
carry anymore.
I know. Just kill that. Okay. So there's two ways up. It doesn't matter which way you go. You're still gonna get these things trying to kill you. This is where you know something is terribly, terribly wrong. Because these are like twisted things from the Twisted Nether, so this is all from the Burning Legion. So they're starting to sink into the tower itself. Now this is mage hubris right here. Look at this! A gigantic bed on a pedestal. No, no, no,
Inventory is full.
no, no, stop it. It's amazing. The candles. It's just, whew, wow. Yeah, you don't see me. That's okay. But holy moly. Oh, yeah. So here's his own little look up. Oh, shoot. Go away.
I can't carry anymore.
You can carry that silver. So remember where we were before on that one terrace? And the griffin was like a tiny little thing? Hi! This is how high up we are now. So there is something left at the tower. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if that's supposed to be for a lighthouse or it's an energy source. And who put it there? Is it Medivh? Is it not? I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of stuff that they put in that was like really cool, but has no explanation to it. Now I gotta figure my way out of here. That way. My screen is dark. I can't see. So here we are, the very top of the tower. There's Griffin over there. Hi. So if that was supposed to be part of a
Inventory is
lighthouse,
full.
it doesn't really make any sense. You would think it would be here. Now notice. Okay, here's where we came from. And then we came in, and we're surrounded by windows. This is the very top spire. And there's a door. You look out here. Yep. It's just a spire. Why is there a room there? Nether space. Holy cow. Where are we? I have a feeling we're not on Azeroth anymore. Just saying. There. Hey, look, another lord. Ah, oh, try to catch up with him.
I shall be your undoing.
Yes, I can one-shot him. I don't think he says much more than just that.
All realities, all dimensions are open to me.
And then he talks. Well, it's easy where you're using a magical focal point to do this. Ow.
I am a prince of the Eredar. I am.
I can't carry anymore.
Yeah, that's where it ends. His elemental's still going on. Okay. But it's like, this is just, wow, amazing. And I'd like to know what that is. This. I want to know what this is. And we never find out. The problem with Burning Crusade is that they left so many things open and unexplained. I tend to think they kind of rushed it only because it had been such a long time. Originally, um, the first game was supposed to have this Burning Crusade story attached to it, and it just became too big for them to package it. I think there's like some remains in it if you actually kind of rip the coding apart. The best part here is, like, I don't know how well the graphics are going here, but you can kind of see the skybox right here of where that zone is, where you zone out of Karazhan and you zone into this weird little nether space, game mechanic wise anyway. But it has, there's so many different raids and dungeons and areas that are just left unexplained. It felt like they kind of rushed that part out and didn't really think it through. Honestly, all of Warcraft, I mean, people complain about them going backwards on story content and rewriting things so much. They've been doing that since they came up with World of Warcraft. They had to come up with this because otherwise it was just a strategy game. And then they started putting on more story and then more story, and then comes Warcraft 3, and then we've got a bit of history and a brand new story, which ends up leading to World of Warcraft, which is like 10 to 15 years. I think it's actually 10 years. 10 years later, after the events of Warcraft 3, where they don't have all of these things set down in stone. So they've been working on this. This has been a work in progress for the longest time, and a lot of things they end up having it unfinished. Because I know when you do the quest for this tower and it says, yeah, would you please go and investigate what the heck is going on in here? When you go through it, and you kill the boss at the end, and you go back down and you tell them, holy cow, there's dreadlords up in there. And they go, Huh. We'll look into that. Thanks for doing that. Here, have a ring. You would think that would be a major concern. Unless inside he's screaming in terror over this fact, I have no idea. But honestly, so much of it was just there was no ending to it that it was kind of disappointing. And I really liked Burning Crusade. I liked that first expansion. I thought it was cool. Was going into stories that I had not really known about before. And I think about that time they were coming out with the novels, so I was able to kind of catch up on what they were coming up with for it. But um, but yeah, that's how the story ends for just a raid. Now back two cont two patches ago, two expansions ago, they they brought in Legion and they actually furthered the story that's going on in here. And unfortunately, I'm already over time, but I can do that run another time, which is kind of cool, but it really ties into Legion hard. And it doesn't really explain all of the weirdness that is going on in this tower right now, but it's supposed to be an echo of things to come. So I will do that another time because actually that raid, that's not a raid, it's a dungeon. That particular dungeon actually ties in with Legion, and I can put some notes together and study that up further so I can get that story down. So that's kind of the spooky stuff for Halloween that I had for Warcraft. Um, Shadowlands, the next expansion, is coming out in a month, a little less than a month. It's coming around American Thanksgiving that week. So yeah, I'll be working on that with my two main characters, but there's going to be a lot of rewrites to what has already been set up lore wise. And it honestly doesn't give me much hope for what, when you're the player character and you expect that when you die, when you actually finally die, you're allowed to die. You don't have the rest that all the priests of the light have been trying to teach others. It's more work. And I have no idea what's going to happen. I have theories of what's going to happen in this, and they seem sound, but then again, Blizz could totally change its mind. It could be completely open ended, like it did with a lot of other stories. It could be a quick ending, like they did here with Battle for Azeroth. It was a very quick ending to a lot of the problems that were going on, which a lot of people were not happy with. And or we could actually get some really good story, and they're overdue for making up a pretty good story. I mean, Legion had its problems, but that was pretty good story wise. And I play for story, I don't play for end content. The end content for me is the story at the end. Where do we wrap up the loose ends of this chapter? Not the min maxing, how powerful can I get with this character kind of thing. So, yeah, we'll see about that. So, that's what I've got for today. I can do more stuff later. Um, just starting to log out here. Um, I'm just gonna leave this open for a little bit longer. If anybody wants to post anything in chat, just want to talk anything, um, ideas, suggestions is always welcome. Um, I'll be better prepared the next time. I'm probably going to write up some kind of scripts and reference material on certain things if I'm just going to do a run through of lore and such. Um, yeah, but this, just so you know, this room back here, what you see behind me, is a work in progress. This is the sewing collections room. I've got all my cosplay going on in here, which currently my computer is occupying the desk which I'd be working on. And behind me is the area where I'm going to have a bunch of shelving and some kind of place to store the different dolls and stuffed animals and stuff that I collect and finally have them on display. So, um, as things continue on, this is going to get more built up and look less like a garage or a storage bin. Um, yeah, there's a number of places online where you can see about lore. I found quite a few of them, and I'm glad they are, since Blizzard is stopping the whole progression because they kind of messed that up. I'll try to do this quickly. Basically, we used to have story content that was very linear. It followed a path. And then they brought in Cataclysm, where they said, okay, everybody was asking for flying in the old world, but we have to rework the map. And while we rework the map, why don't we update everything and give it new story content? So that it end up being there is new story content in the places where you would be leveling up a new character. All the story that was leading up into the next two patches, though, were gone. So nobody had a clue where we were going to. So what ends up happening is that if you're a brand new character, you end up in Cataclysm. And then when you're finished leveling there, when you get to a certain point, you go to Burning Crusade, which means you're going back in time to Wrath of the Lich King, then back into Cataclysm, and the new zones that they introduced there, which is in the old world Azeroth. And then you can continue on the path. Then they introduced more time traveling shenanigans with Warlords of Draenor. And I think giving time to a bunch of dragons was a terrible, terrible idea. Because now they're messing around with it way too much. So we're introduced to an alternate timeline of what happened on Draenor. So what ends up happening is that we're hopping around the timeline all over the place here. And especially so that with the last patch that they put it in, they introduced new races to play that were introduced either in Legion or in Battle for Azeroth. Which means leveling them means that they're going back in time and playing all the way through again in a place that they'd never existed before. So they had to fix this. First, they had to fix it for the end game type people who like to do the last second type. They just like to do the end stuff. They just want to do the hardcore rating. They want to get their min maxers. They want their high level gear. They only want to do person on person fighting. They pretty much geared the game now to more of that. their way of fixing the whole timeline problem is to have the main time dragon that we know of, Chromie, basically send your new character back in time, pick an expansion to play through, level up in there, and then she kicks you out so you are not level sync with it. And if you want to finish that story, you can go ahead and just find where you left off, and you'll be in technically real time at that point and finish that story. Or you can just skip it all and just wait for the next expansion. So it kind of fixes the whole you're skipping around in time in real time with your new characters. This is very confusing. I know it is. But then also you're missing whole stories. Now I know there's so many patches that have been added over the years. It's nearly a 16-year-old game. But still, you you kind of miss what's kind of going on, and if you care enough, you'll have to do a bunch of research on your own. Now, it's not like I hadn't been doing research on my own. I've been doing that a lot. But if you care, the materials are out there. And there's a bunch of YouTubers who are also putting that out, and I'm going to be another one, I think. But yeah, a lot of stories going to get lost, and there's going to be a lot more new people coming in, like I did, saying, I have no idea what's going on. My friend told me to go play this, and I'm going to go and play it. And either it's going to help their sales or it's not. Yeah, that's up to them. So, yeah, I work on this a bit more so I have something more cohesive and in better shape than this one. This is just the test run for now. And if you like, just keep signing on. I'd love to have people to come in, chat, listen to me babble on about weird stuff, um, and keep me company while I play these things. Um, so yeah, I'm running over time. I'm going to sign off in just a moment here. So thank you for showing up. Um, if you're replaying this to check out what I was working on, I hope you like it. It will only improve with age because then I'll have a better idea what the heck I'm doing. And stick around. There might be more fun coming up. So thank you for showing up, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.